Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hondos HoloNet, a podcast where we talk all about pop culture and media, TV, movies, everything in between. My name is Vincent. I'm your host, and let's begin. So, I know the last few episodes I've started off with a little bit of housekeeping, but I want to talk about housekeeping a little bit and future plans. So, today is the last day that I'll be recording with Zoom. I was on a 2 week vacation. That's why there were no episodes, and I haven't had my camera. I haven't really had time to set everything up. But this week I have a lot of free time, so I'll be able to completely move everything back here. I'll have my camera all set up. I'll have my microphone working even better. So I could get away from Zoom and I can actually, have better quality. Future plans. So I posted before on Friday. I've seen three movies recently. I saw Lilo and Stitch. I saw Mission Impossible, and I saw Karate Kid Legends. All great movies. On Friday, I'll release a full spoiler review with discussion about everything in those three movies. It'll be a little bit of a longer episode, but like I said, yeah, it'll cover everything for those three movies. That way, when Superman comes out, when Jurassic World, when Fantastic Four, I could go back to individual episodes for each movie review. Also, TV show reviews. Right now, I think there's only one that I just recently watched. Um, that's a new one to me. It's been out for a while now. At least season one, season two came out in January. So this is a newer one to me. Not really my type of show. I enjoyed it. We'll talk about that probably sometime next week. And then we'll go back to Sunday episodes. Every Sunday, I'll release an episode. This is a weird one. Like I said, I was on vacation for a while and just now being able to get back into the flow of things. So, last thing, this is the last quote unquote about me episode. I've gone over DC, Marvel, Star Wars, sometimes news like the Avengers Doomsday cast release, but a lot of them were like either my top tens or my favorites from each thing. This will be the last one of those, and then next week I'll start getting back into news updates about specific genres. I'm specific fandoms, excuse me. I might go back to multiple topics a week. I don't know yet. But for now, this is the last quote unquote about me episode, with Sunday's episode being more towards news and future stuff. Okay, so today's topic is going to be about Disney, and I'm a Disney guy. You can see in the background, I got Mickey ears. My Legos are down there. I have a couple of Disney Funkos, more Disney Legos. Yeah, I'm a Disney guy. Uh, Now I was supposed to do this episode and specifically with a friend, but he couldn't make it today, and I needed to do this once I get move on. So he's gonna come back probably for our general Disney episode where we could talk all things Disney. Today we're gonna focus on Walt Disney World in Florida. I've gone to Disney for as long as I can remember. I'm a huge fan. At one point, I've had all the rides ridden. Not now, after they release new ones. We'll get to that. But I'm a big Disney guy. Go there at least once a year. The one year I didn't go was 2021, 2022. 2022 I didn't go to Disney. But other than that, I've been to Disney every year. And 2022 I went to Disney Springs. So technically, yeah. But to the park specifically, I haven't been. I've been every year as long as I can remember. Um, so yeah. So first, I just want to go over like all of my general favorites in Disney World. So my favorite park is Hollywood Studios. I'm a big Star Wars guy. We've talked about this. I love everything Star Wars. I've done all the experiences at my age that I can there, and I loved them. The lightsaber building, I don't have the lightsaber here, or else I would have showed it off. But that was the greatest thing Disney's ever done. The droid building, I do have my droid right up there, R266. He building him was so much fun. It was a great experience. And then my girlfriend got to build a BB-8. She built BB-8, but it was a BB unit. Um, and I was there for that, and that was also a great time. I got to build it. I got to watch somebody else build it. I loved it both times. And also Toy Story Land. When Toy Story Land came out, I remember walking in for the first time and just being amazed at the Imagineering and everything in Toy Story Land really blew me away, just because I wasn't expecting it as much as I was for something immersive like Star Wars. But then they did it, and I was there, and to feel like a toy in Andy's backyard was super cool. And they didn't really move Toy Story Mania around, which was awesome. So that's my favorite park. Also, general movie guy. I used to be afraid of the Great Movie Ride because of the thief that comes on and steals the car, but I miss it. I love the Great Movie Ride. I love Mickey and Minnie's. Unfortunately, Muppet Vision's away, but I'm also a big Muppet Vision guy. Um, but yeah, just the general feel of Hollywood studios has always uh, appealed to me. I was never a big Hollywood studios fan until Toy Story and Star Wars came around, and then that really elevated my love for the park. But I was always a Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom type of guy. Animal when I was really young, Magic when there wasn't really much going on in the others, in Hollywood. And I still love Epcot. That's just never been my favorite, but I love Epcot. We'll get into that. Favorite hotel is Polynesian. Favorite hotel is hard because I haven't stayed at a lot of them. I've stayed at overall eight, which I'll get to later because we'll discuss all the hotels I've stayed at and my favorites. Um, but the Polynesian, I'm a big. I like the feel of being in Hawaii. I've never been. I want to go or in any sort of Polynesian countries like Samoa or even parts of New Zealand, and I really want to go because I just really like that feel. So the Polynesian is probably the most immersive hotel to me, which I really enjoy, and it still throws in the Disney feel, like having Ohana. I can't think of the name of the restaurant. Well, it's not that important, but the Kona Cafe is that's not the restaurant I was thinking of, but the Kona Cafe has that's my favorite breakfast place all over Disney, and possibly my favorite restaurant all over Disney. It's between two, which I'll also talk to. Um, but the Polynesian, I've stayed there, like I said, once. The pool was awesome. The rooms are awesome. The immersiveness is awesome. And it still throws in Lilo and Stitch, and it still throws in Mickey in the right ways. And like I said, great hotel. Transportation, the monorail, I think I have a little bit of nostalgia towards the monorail. I love the buses. I love the skyline. Obviously, I don't prefer to take the buses. I'm from New York. I could take the bus anytime. But but the monorail, the buses, and the Skyliner are all great ways of transportation. I've just always felt for the monorail going through the Contemporary, pulling up and seeing the Seven Seas Lagoon and seeing everything around the monorail, which again, Skyline is great. The Skyliner, you see a lot more, travels a lot more places, but the monorail always, I think it's a nostalgia thing. But again, monorail is awesome. Me and my brother used to quote the English and Spanish versions. I can't do it now. But we used to every time the door shut, door opened, everything like that. Yeah, me and my brother would always quote and we'd laugh. Okay. Sit down restaurant, like I said, Kona Cafe is up there. The other one is the San Angel Inn, I think the Mexico restaurant um in Epcot. Great nachos, great chips and guac. I've always my family has always gone to the Mexico restaurant. Really, I think it's only been like two or three times that we actually went, but I love the Mexico restaurant. But again, it's between that and Kona. They're two completely different styles. One is very Polynesian, uh, for 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 lunch, brunch, breakfast, sometimes lunch. The other one is good dinner, good Mexican style dinner. So either one of those, I love. The at Kona Cafe they have Tonga toast, which is by far my favorite thing I've ever eaten at Disney. It's square block of French toast with strawberry drizzle syrup over it with bananas, and it's just the greatest thing I've ever had anywhere. So yeah, so for that it would be uh, Kona Cafe or Mexico, and then I also put the quick service restaurant, um, Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe. So Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe is a real little thing across from Tomorrowland Speedway in the Magic Kingdom. It kind of branches together the Tomorrowland, leaving Tomorrowland, entering Fantasyland with the Cheshire Cat Cafe and the Mad Tea Party teacups right across the way. Like I said, on the other side, there's the Anti-Gravity's ice cream. There's the Tomorrowland Speedway. You can see Space Mountain, the Astro Orbiter, People Mover. So it's right there, and it's a pretty known. It's an definitely an easy one. It's always packed. Um, Cosmic Rays is real busy almost all the time. They have in the little pavilion, they have um Sunny Eclipse playing music on a piano. Now he's just an animatronic, but I've always loved Sunny Eclipse. You got, like I said, he's playing the piano. He's always singing songs. It's like a concert show in space. And although you look outside and you're in Disney World, it's always just been my favorite. Burgers were good, and the burgers and chicken tenders are the same everywhere, but nothing is like a Cosmic Ray uh, cafe burger and chicken tenders with fries and lemonade. It's a great place. And just 2 years ago, 2 years ago, me and my girlfriend got one of the Stitch Dome cakes, one of the mini ones, and that one was just delicious. And they have those everywhere too, but Cosmic Rays, again, just the feel of Cosmic Rays is awesome. So those are like the five. I couldn't really think of more topics, but the five things at Disney World that I'm like, wow, these are just highlights of the experience overall. Um, so now I want to go into rides in each park. Um, Magic Kingdom has a lot of rides. This is probably the most Disney feeling Disney park. It's immersed with Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Daisy, Minnie, Mickey, Minnie, Pluto. Wow. Um, you're always thrown in something. Then Fantasyland has Snow White and the Mine Train and Peter Pan and Dumbo, and then Cinderella's Castle, obviously the centerpiece, and then the Little Mermaid ride. You could see Eric's Castle. Then you got the Beauty and the Beast, the Be Our Guest restaurant, and you see Belle's Castle. Tangled bathrooms, obviously the worst bathrooms in all Disney. They're always hot. They always smell bad. Um, they're they are always crowded because it's Tangled bathroom. Um, but you see Rapunzel's Tower. So it's the most, Disney feeling park. And I've always loved it. But there's two rides that stood out for me. It was always Splash Mountain and it was Space Mountain. They're like, oh, the fun, upbeat, more roller coastery rides, which I love a good roller coaster, but they're not the two rides that I had to, choose between because they're not my favorite. Splash Mountain isn't around anymore, and I have not gotten to rid Tiana's Bayou Adventure yet. Hopefully, in the next two trips, I'll be able to. Um, but I gotta say, between these two rides, Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion, those are my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom. Not in all of Disney, but all these six rides, because Hollywood also has two. These six rides are these six rides, excuse me, are also all my favorites across Disney. I wouldn't be able to choose one or the other. Um, but Pirates, you're thrown into this boat ride. It always smells so good. The fire, the water, the 4D effects that they throw in, the smells, the cannonballs, the little slide drop that they have in there. I've always been a big Pirates of the Caribbean ride fan. I just saw the movies in 2023, but I love the ride. And then the other one, the Haunted Mansion. I never really, looked twice at it. I never been like the craziest fan of this ride. And then I saw the movie, and then I was like, I want to, experience this ride again because once the movie came out, I was able to point all of like, oh my gosh, this is this guy from The Line. This is this guy from Inside the Graveyard. Like I was able to, and then I realized just how much I actually enjoyed the ride. Uh, Being able to point them all out kind of put it all together for me like, hey, this was actually a great ride. And I went on it again later. I went on it earlier that year, but then I went on it the next year and I was like, yeah, I'm a Haunted Mansion guy all the way, and I love Haunted Mansion. So those are the two. In Epcot, we have Soarin'. Test Track was the runner up. I'm waiting for the new Test Track. I haven't rode it. I obviously haven't rode it yet, but I've rode the second Test Track a ton, and now I'm waiting for this new one. So Test Track, unfortunately, was the runner-up, not number one, but Soarin' has always been my favorite. I love the feeling going up. Patrick Warburton being the pilot, he always made the ride enjoyable. Seeing the pre-show, going up, this is the real want to talk about 4D experience. Seeing everything back when it was only soaring around California, soaring around not California, soaring around Florida. When you go over the orange fields and you smelled the oranges, and just going into Disney and the fireworks and soaring over Florida was always my favorite. And then they did soaring around the world, which I've only ever been to France and Spain, and I wasn't even in Paris, so I wasn't, I didn't see. I want to eventually travel to all the places in Soarin'. Taj Mahal is like number one on my list because India is number one on my list to travel to. But I want to see the Eiffel Tower. I want to see Mount Everest. I've always wanted to climb Mount Everest. I don't know how doable it is now, but it's on the list. I want to go to Nepal and see Mount Everest. I want to go to Egypt and I want to see the pyramids. That's another top priority. I think it's India, Taj Mahal, Egypt, and the pyramids. Like these are things I want to see. So getting to see them on the ride is just wow. I didn't think that they would actually, when they did around the world, I didn't think it would look as good as it did, but it looks awesome. And this is again 4D when you're going through Taj Mahal and you smell all the scents that you would in maybe an Indian bazaar, um, or you're going across Tahiti and you smell the fresh water and you smell the beach, and it's such a great ride, and they do so many things so well through the ride that it's just I could go on and off that ride and I'd be satisfied every time. Okay, Hollywood. Oh, okay. One thing for Epcot. I haven't rode Guardians yet, and I haven't rode Ratatouille yet. I plan on doing it in August when I go, but I haven't rode them yet. I haven't been to Epcot since they've been out. When I was there in 2023, I only went to Magic in Hollywood, and then when I went in 2024, I only went to Magic. So I didn't get to do um, either of those rides yet. But this August, I will be doing both. So Hollywood, it's either Rise of the Resistance, which is arguably if I had to pick one, this is where I would lean against Star Wars. I felt when I first rode this ride, I felt like I was in a Star Wars movie, that I was Luke running through the Death Star in A New Hope. And obviously it's the sequels, but I was Luke running through the Death Star in A New Hope being chased by these stormtroopers. And then you go up and the AT-AT walkers are there and they're shooting at you and you see the people inside getting ready and pulling the guns. Like all these things um that this ride did was just amazing. The little drop at the end, you pull in and they release you in like the escape pods and then you go down. Just all, like I said, all great rides. The immersiveness in this ride as well. I've used the word immersive a lot this video. That's because Disney is just the biggest immersive place ever, the most immersive place ever, excuse me. And yeah, so Rise of the Resistance, you're walking half of the experience. Rise of the Resistance, I would say, is more of an experience than it is a full-on ride because you walk, you get onto the ship, then you're taken off onto this, I guess, Star Destroyer, this space station, and all of the First Order troops are standing there like, yeah, we're guarding. Obviously, it's all animatronics, but you get to walk up, you get to take pictures, then you go wait online to go into your cell because Kylo Ren and General Hux have to interrogate you, and then you feel Kylo Ren's force. He's like, tell me where, and the whole room just shakes, and then Finn and the Resistance break you out, and then you're racing through to get out of this place. It's just the most immersive experience. Um, so yeah, Rise is again one of my favorites. And then Slinky Dog Dash. Just because of it's Slinky, it's a roller coaster. It has Toy Story music playing. When you go up, you could see a lot of Hollywood studios, especially all of Toy Story Land. And seeing all of Toy Story Land is cool. I mean, Slinky Dog, the ride itself is about the length of Toy Story Land. So you get to go all around. You see the alien swirling saucers. You get to see Toy Story Mania. Sometimes, if you catch it at the right time, you're riding the ride as the Green Army Men are drumming around. And you see Woody, the tall Woody statue, but also the Woody, Jesse, and Buzz meet and greet. And like all these things. And then you end with Wheezy. You end with Wheezy singing You've Got a Friend in Me. And and you're sitting in Slinky Dog. It's just such a great ride. And it's not really there's not a lot to be like, oh, this is number one, but it's such a great ride on its own. So yeah, it's one of my favorite roller coasters. I've ridden it countless times. I love it each time. And then Animal Kingdom, Dinosaur was up there. Dinosaur couldn't make it, and Dinosaur's leaving soon, anyways. But it's Flight of Passage. I mean, when I first rode that ride, the first two I thought of was a mix between Soarin' and Star Tours, and that's really all it is. It's Star Tours. You sit in your ship, it shakes you around, it acts like you're flying, completing a mission. And Soarin', it's not as immersive as like I said, Rise of the Resistance, but you're in this. It feels like you're flying on a banshee and you're sitting like it's a bicycle and it takes you around and the screen moves and you get hit with water and smells and everything and the visuals. It's beautiful. It's Avatar, it's Pandora. So of course the visuals are going to be the greatest visuals ever, and the CGI isn't going to look awful at all. So that's really what they did. And I am all for it. I loved it. I've loved it ever since. The most I've ever waited for a ride was on Pandora. Was almost 4 hours in 2019 when I went with my high school for a band competition. We waited there for 4 hours. Now I didn't have to wait. I've been on it before, but all my friends who haven't been to Disney or haven't been to the park in a while wanted to experience it. So I waited, and it didn't disappoint, especially on an Animal Kingdom day where there isn't the most to do. Um, with that, talking about all the rides, I at one point have like I said, I've rode all of the rides. Um, because as they come out, I've been keeping up with them. As they come out, we like I said, I go almost every year, so I'll get on the ride that year, that in the next few months from when it releases. But like I said, with Guardians and with Remy, I haven't been to Epcot in almost 4 years now. I think the last time I was there was 2021, and I'm going in August, so I will get on both of those rides. Tiana, uh, it came out in 2024. I think like a month and a half after I went in May. So, and I think came out in like June or July. So, I never got to go on that ride. Big Splash Mountain guy. I was upset that they got rid of Splash Mountain, but it's Tiana. Like it's okay. Princess and the Frog is okay. You replace it, it's whatever. Um, but with that being said, I'm going to Magic Kingdom only once in August, and I don't think I'll actually get on that ride. I think I'm gonna wait until my next trip to Magic Kingdom when my girlfriend and I could go on it together. Um, she won't be there this time, but she'll be there the second time when I go to Epcot. So so I'll definitely hit both Guardians and Remy's the Ratatouille ride. But until then, yeah, and I'll cover those later on. Okay, so I want to talk about a bit about all the hotels I've stayed at, and a bit about them, but more probably rank the ones I stayed at. Like I said, this is the last About Me episode, so going forward, you're not going to hear a lot more like my things. Maybe when I do the Disney episode, with the movies and the characters, you will. So this, I really want to go all in. Like, hey, this is what I feel about the hotels I've stayed at, what I've loved, what I didn't like. Um, so yeah, so let me get into it. Um, we got sorry, had to check something. These are the seven I stayed, the eight I stayed at, excuse me. I forgot to add one. All Star Sports, All Star Movies, All Star Music. So the three All Stars: Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Coronado Springs, the Polynesian, and the campgrounds at the Fort Wilderness. All of them great experiences. Um, I love staying on Disney property. It's great. I love the pools. I love the activities you could do. Not that I've done the activities much more recently that I've been doing the activities at the hotels, but with my brothers. But Not really. We're more of the pool day, and then most of the time we're out and about. So All-Star Sports, All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, those three. Uh, all great hotels. Very budget friendly. And maybe one day I'll do an episode about budgeting at Disney, and I'm not into money and stuff like that at all, so it won't be great. But like budgeting and prices and the best way to look about going to Disney and booking Disney, because I do that for fun. I watch videos on that for fun. So maybe one day I could get into that. When I go on these next two trips, I definitely want to get a lot of footage of Disney, different rides and the monorail and the skyline, kind of just get footage so I can do more videos, more like that, which I'll eventually do. But yeah, All Star Sports, movies, music are very budget friendly, very quick trip type hotels. You stay there for 2 nights and you're only paying like $300, which is the same as two park tickets. So it could get expensive, but also you're staying on property, you're getting access to uh, pools, you're getting access to transportation. It's a lot within them. Art of Animation is like kind of the next step up over the All Stars, and that is my second favorite hotel. Polynesian, like I said before, is my favorite hotel, but Art of Animation, you have Nemo, Little Mermaid, Lion King, and Cars. I've stayed at Cars and I stayed at Little Mermaid, and those two are awesome. I've been to both the Cars pool, I've been to the Cars pool, the Nemo pool, and the Little Mermaid pool. Lion King doesn't have a pool, but Nemo pool, they do music underwater. I'm not sure if they still do that. I think they stopped it during COVID, maybe before COVID. I don't know. But when I went in 2021, that's where we stayed, and they weren't doing it. Um, but the rooms, the cars in the Nemo rooms are the spacious, most spacious, the biggest. Um, Nemo, I've never stayed. Um, Lion King, I'm not sure about the rooms either. Um, but Little Mermaid are more smaller family rooms, two beds, like a standard hotel room, while Cars and Nemo are bigger, multi-room uh, hotel rooms. So great experiences. I love the pools. I love all the decorations, the art inside the rooms, the stuff outside the rooms, everything about the art of animation. The thing is, with the Little Mermaid rooms, you're gonna go farther away from the main thing, but they're gonna be cheaper. Not that it's a long walk, regardless. And as you're walking, you get to see all the stands of like the Lion King and Nemo and Cars, depending on which way you walk. You get to see like the statues and everything. So, I mean, it's generally a smaller, more condensed hotel, but it's still a bit of a walk. But Little Mermaid is out there, Cars is a little out there, and yeah, but again, one of my favorite hotels. Caribbean Beach, I've stayed at a while ago. I don't even remember the year. Same with Coronado Springs is before they even did the whole uh, reimagination of it and they added the big tower. Like this was a long time ago. I stayed at the older rooms, but loved Coronado Springs. The pool was my favorite part. The slide. I met a friend there. His name was Ryan. I have his number. I haven't talked to him since I stayed there, but the only reason I remember him is because his number is still in my phone. Um, but so Ryan, if you're watching this, hi. Um, but Coronado Springs was a long time ago. Loved it. And then in 2020, when I went, Polynesian. I love the Polynesian. Like I said before, I won't go over it again, but it is my favorite. And then the campgrounds, which was definitely, we stayed in a cabin. They did s'mores and marshmallows. They roasted marshmallows. They did movies. They did a lot of things that you would do at campgrounds, but then they also did Disney hotels with that. And then the pools were nice for that one too. Um, if I had to rank them, going off of my list right in front of me, I'm using my computer. This is also the last week I'm using my computer. I'll have everything written out, and then I'll be able to have room to actually have it memorized and written down better. So not that I have bad memory. I've just this is easiest. It's right here. Okay, so ranking them with just what I'm seeing. Polynesian is first. Art of Animation is second. Yeah, Coronado Springs is third, and Caribbean Beach is fourth. Uh, All Star Movies is fifth. Then the Campgrounds is sixth. And then All Star Music is 7, and All Star Sports is 8. Love All Star Sports. I want to talk about my upcoming trips, anyways. All Star Sports. I'm staying in August with my girlfriend for a week. Uh, it's a great hotel. Don't get me wrong. It's just not very Disney. It's very like sports themed. I mean, you're not seeing a statue of Mickey. You're seeing a statue of a football helmet. Same with music, but music they kind of incorporate it together. Less of that in sports. Um, but they're all really the same hotels, just different designs. Um, but yeah. Um, so upcoming trips, I'm going for 2 weeks in August, or really a week and a half in August. And we're staying at Grand Floridian. This is like the dream hotel because it's the Grand Floridian. It's one of the greatest hotels on Walt Disney's property. So I'm real psyched for that one. That one is going to be like this, hopefully not once in a lifetime, but this like I'm going with my family. It'll be my mother, my father, and my two brothers, and we'll be in Grand Floridian. We'll be right next to Magic Kingdom. We'll be able to go in the pool there. And I've always thought about it. We've always walked around 1900 Park Fair, the restaurant downstairs. Just, I love Grand Floridian. So that one I'm definitely, really excited for. Then I said we're staying in All Star Sports. This is my girlfriend's first Disney hotel. So I'm real excited for her to experience it. We were going to do movies and sports just ended up being cheaper. And we ended up getting an extra night and an extra park day with our trip. So we are definitely excited. I think we're actually going to start filming together. She wants to do a channel come August. So I think we're going to start filming together. I was definitely thinking about the next two trips, not only filming to get B-roll footage, but also filming maybe me having some, maybe doing some shorts. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. I might put up a poll on my Instagram or the channel's Instagram and also the channel on YouTube. I did a poll once about the Spider-Man title. I think it worked out pretty well. I haven't checked the stats on that in a while, so I'll have to check. But I definitely want to do that. I'm also thinking about maybe near future starting a blog. So when we talk more about news, when we do more, when we do, like I said, less about me type episodes and more, um, news episodes or announcements or reviews, I want to launch like this whole review uh, website, this whole, like I said, basically a blog website where I could just write down everything that I've talked about and kind of journal journalism it. I don't know the word. I'm blanking on the word. But yeah, so that's the plan. There's definitely stuff to look out for in the future. But again, come August, both of my trips, I definitely want to record more, get some things going there because I love Disney and I could do much better talking about Disney when I'm in Disney or when it's not 8 o'clock at night. Um, I I'm real excited for my future trips, and I'm also really excited to do more, possibly not daily vlogs there, but maybe once in a while vlogs, maybe one in Disney Springs, which I didn't talk about at all this trip. Um, maybe one in Hollywood Studios do a YouTube short, and then Magic Kingdom do a vlog or Epcot do a vlog. I don't know. We'll see. But definitely stuff to look out for in the future. I know this one's it actually probably is a normal length episode. I definitely didn't realize what time it was. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking through while I've been gone. I'm excited to get back into it and fully, I have a new stand. I'll definitely post a picture of that when it's all filled up and it looks nicer. I'm putting another poster up, and all these I'll move and it'll look so much nicer. So I'm definitely excited to do all of that. Anyways, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for sticking through. Yeah, and I'll see you guys on Friday with the movie reviews. Bye bye.